We will move on to our weekly Pistons NBA talk. And so training camp is underway. The Detroit Pistons have started training camp. Yesterday, this was the first day of training camp for them. We did talk about this a little bit on our last podcast that ended up getting corrupted. So we will reiterate a little bit the information that never got out anyways, and I'm sure has been talked about hundreds of times. But obviously, the Pistons did waive Zaire Smith, and the Pistons did sign Devadius Servidis. I probably butchered that, and I apologize. He is from Lithuania, and he was actually a draft pick from the 2019 draft that the Pistons selected in the second round. He's just, again, like I mentioned, been playing overseas for the last year and a half, 2 years, and so we finally actually signed him to the active roster. So he is, a shooting guard, small forward, correct? Yep. And then we also signed LiAngelo Ball, which I'm sure everyone's heard by now, and everyone's kind of gotten their own feelings. It's a non-guaranteed contract, so it's basically just like, hey, whatever, let's get all the Ball brothers in the NBA. I honestly don't know if he will make the active roster. I mean, we'll watch him in preseason. That's going to be coming up here soon. We'll be seeing how good he does, if he actually gets some playing time. I'm assuming they'll give him some playing time in preseason.
Oh, yeah.
Regarding, again, we've talked about this before, but it's still just kind of up in the air. Things have kind of cleared up. We've talked to Coach Casey, not us specifically. The reporters have talked to Coach Casey. We've gotten a little bit out of him. We've gotten a little bit out of Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose, talking about the younger players. Killian Hayes, he looks like he's going to be really good, especially hearing from what we've heard. Dalton, I know you know a little bit more about him.
So as of right now, starting training camp and preseason, Killian Hayes is the starting point guard for the Detroit Pistons. Dwayne Casey said he is unlike any other rookie he's known. He came in ready to work and ready to prove that he can be the starting point guard, which obviously might accompany playing over in France, playing pro basketball for how many years over in France instead of going to college and college basketball and like all that crap.
I said this back when we drafted him. I think players, again, I'm not saying he's going to be a Luka Doncic type player, but I just think players like that have played professionally overseas is different than playing in the NCAA. So it's kind of I wouldn't say easier, but I think going from college to the NBA is a different type of transition than playing professionally overseas to playing professionally in the NBA. It's a little bit of a smoother transition.
So in college, you're not playing the best of the best.
Exactly, yes. I do think that's going to give him a huge advantage. And same thing with Vidius. Again, I'm sorry, I probably mispronounced that, but same thing. He's been playing professionally for about a year and a half, 2 years. So I think that's going to help him develop a lot easier. And it seems like we're just signing a lot of foreign players on our team with Sekou Doumbouya and Ski Mikhailuk as well. It seems like the Pistons are just creating a team of foreigners at this point. But hey, again, it's worked out with some other teams.
And obviously, as we've kind of talked about in past podcasts about like the whole roster, who's going to be at what position and everything, Dwayne Casey did come out and say that basically every position are fighting for minutes. There's not really a set this person's going to get this many minutes, this person's getting, like, he hasn't set that yet.
I don't think anyone on our team is going to be averaging more than 28 to 30 minutes a game. It's going to be pretty... So normally, like, the superstars average around maybe 35 to 40 minutes a game sometimes, but...
The only person I see averaging that many is Blake Griffin, and that's just because of everything I've heard from Dwayne Casey talking and just Blake Griffin talking and how much work Blake Griffin put in this offseason to be able to actually stay healthy and be the Blake Griffin that we saw before he got injured, leading us to the playoffs.
Yeah, Dwayne Casey has been doing nothing but praising Blake all through the beginning of training camp so far. In all the interviews, he's just claiming how great he is and how, like, as he mentioned, how tough he's been working this offseason to get back to full, as Dwayne Casey says it, the Blake of old. So...
And obviously, Dwayne Casey did say that shooting guard is the number one position that is up for grabs. Like, there's not a set starting shooting guard. There's whoever plays the best is going to start as shooting guard, which makes sense because we don't really have a shooting guard on the team. We have guard or shooting guard small forward-ish, like Ski Mikhailuk. I mean, Derrick Rose could even play a little shooting guard. I know we kind of did that last year with Reggie and Derrick Rose kind of out there together, like when Reggie was healthy.
And as we've talked about too, we mentioned on the last podcast, with the coronavirus coming in, it's probably good to have so many players that can split positions. So if certain player's out for whatever, an extended period of time or a couple games, you can swap someone to this position, then fill it in. So just having that versatility is probably good for just this season with injuries and the coronavirus too.
Oh yeah, and that's like, I'm so excited because so many people are doubting the Pistons and just saying like,